In 3 short weeks, I went from 100,000 views up to 1 million views using a very simple 5-minute routine. And I'll be honest with you, this hack feels so illegal because it actually reminds me of the early days of TikTok when everybody was going viral. Getting views has not felt this easy in years. And today, I want to show you exactly how to copy this strategy step by step so that you can reach more people with the good news and even generate leads for your coaching program or course. If we haven't met yet, my name is Justin, and I help pastors like this guy earn $200,000 in just 12 months with audiences as small as 621 followers using organic social media. So if that sounds like something you want to do, consider subscribing. What would you do with an extra 100,000, 200,000, maybe even 500,000 views per month around your core message? How much more impact could you have on the world? And maybe even how much more revenue could you generate with that type of traffic? Today, I want to talk to you about trial reels and how this is the secret shortcut to blowing up your online reach and possibly even your revenue. Let's go ahead and dive into it. When uploading a brand new reel, just under the caption, there's a toggle that you've probably overlooked. It's called Trial Reels, and it was launched in December of 2024. Now, if you were like me and you ignored the launch because it doesn't seem like that was big of a deal, no worries, I was guilty as well, but you need to try this if you want bigger reach. Let me give you a quick overview of why this feature was introduced in the first place, and then I'll share with you how most creators are using this feature completely backwards and what you should be doing in order to get the most out of it. The idea was simple: allow content creators a way to test new content without disrupting their main feed. A lot of creators are very particular about the aesthetic and the vibe of their profiles. They want everything to look clean and cohesive and polished. Because of that, many creators were hesitant to try new things, new formats or new styles, maybe even just new messages, out of fear that it might mess up their overall brand look. And as a result, Instagram ran the risk of becoming a stale and boring platform. Trial Reels were designed as the solution. You see, when you use this feature, when you toggle Trial Reels, your current followers won't see the posts. This allows you to try new things and experiment without running the risk of alienating your existing audience. If a piece of content performs well, then great. You have the option to post it to your main feed later and then eventually show your followers. But if the content flops, no harm, no foul, your audience never saw it and your precious feed remains intact. And this is what makes Trial Reels such a big deal. The hardest part about growing a page is figuring out how to get your posts in front of new people. Most of the time, when a post goes live, unless it's an outlier, it tends to only be seen by your existing audience. But now, when you literally push the button, you are guaranteed to reach brand new people. Now, for context, this is literally what paid ads were meant to do. In other words, when done right, trial reels are the equivalent of having hundreds of dollars in free advertising every single month, and if you use it properly, you can massively increase your overall reach and revenue. Here's what you need to do. Take notes. Step number 1, search through your page for the most successful pieces of content that you have. Which videos have the most views or the most comments? Which ones got the most shares or helped you to gain the most followers? Instead of starting with brand new content that is unproven, we want to do the exact opposite. We want to pick our best 3 to 5 pieces of content because we actually know that it will resonate with new people because it's already been successful. Step number 2, literally repost the exact same piece of content with the exact same caption, only this time as a trial reel. Step number 3, do this again, but this time change the song that you use in the video or the location that you tag in the video so as to avoid any spam guards that might be in place. Step number 4, do this multiple times per day, making sure to change the song or the location or even the copy in each post. Now, this is important. In my testing, there were only 2 limits to how many times you could do this. And unless you want to be grounded by Instagram, you need to make sure not to exceed these thresholds. The first limitation took place on my 25th upload of the day when Instagram tells you you can share 1 more trial reel because you've almost reached the limit, and when you do, you'll need to wait 24 hours to start using trial reels again. The second limitation took place on my 250th upload of the month when Instagram said you've reached the limit, you've shared the maximum number of trial reels allowed within 30 days, you must wait until a particular date in order to share another trial reel. Once that happened, I realized that I had crossed the line. So I started to look for published guidelines on what were the boundaries on how to use this in a non-abusive manner. but there wasn't anything published. But I did have a conversation with someone from Meta Support, and I was told by a member of their team that their recommendation was to keep your daily usage to 5 trial reels or less, which, incidentally, if you do the math, does fit my experience of the under 250 trials per month experiment. So all that to say, use this tool responsibly. Now, a couple of observations from my experiment. Observation number 1. At the beginning, my views were low and inconsistent, like embarrassingly so. I literally had videos that wouldn't get 100 views and even had several that had 0 views, even though this content had performed well as organic content. If I had only done this once or twice, that is to say, if I only uploaded 1 or 2 trial reels, there's a meaningful chance that I would have gotten discouraged and never used the feature again. However, over time, and this is observation number 2, it did seem like the algorithm figured out who my trial reels were best served to, and that average number began to climb. I had several trials that did hundreds and maybe even thousands and eventually tens of thousands of views. Finally, around upload number 200, I had my first viral video, in fact I had 2 of them, that did over 100,000 views. And if you do a quick YouTube search, there have been people who, while using trial reels, were able to reach into the millions of views per trial reel. In other words, trials were just as valuable from a traffic source perspective. However, the third thing that I did notice was that there was a cascading trickle-down effect. Even though the average view count per trial was lower than my real organic reels, it did appear that those non-followers who were introduced to my content finally made their way over to my profile page and would binge watch the rest of my content because my total views for the experiment exploded in a short amount of time. Now, if you're running a coaching program or trying to promote a lead magnet or podcast episode, here's what I would do in order to take advantage of all this brand new reach. I would use a service like ManyChat that allows you to invite your audience to comment or DM you a trigger word to initiate your next automation. Because as it turns out, ManyChat automations do in fact work on trial reels, and so if you are intentional, you're going to be able to leverage all of this bonus traffic and grow your email list, generate sales, and ultimately serve people through your coaching programs. In fact, one of my students started using this strategy a few weeks ago and has already generated $8,520 in revenue without spending a single dollar on advertisement. In other words, trial reels can help you grow your audience, your total impact, and your bottom line in as little as 5 minutes per day. If you'd like to learn how to turn your sermons into coaching programs so that you too can benefit from the upside of all of this organic reach, consider checking my workshop on digital tent making linked below this video.